Hello, hello. Let me turn that off. Okay. Doo. Got to catch up with who I messaged. Okay. How are you guys doing tonight? I still haven't eaten yet because I was editing something very dumb. I'm fixing that at the moment, or I'm eating. Uh, what pride flag is behind you? That is NJ Transit colors, so it's kind of a meme. People are asking if I'm going to sell it. I will at some point, but um, I need to change stores I'm selling on currently because I like Teespring a lot, but I think I'm going to or switch to um, a local place here in Philly. That was a custom one I got for myself. So, oh, you're asking. So technically, there is SEPTA stuff on this pride flag. If I take it off. Um, so you might have all seen it, but there's a rebrand happening in SEPTA soon, and these are some of the rebrands. So they're renaming, like the Broad Street line will be the B, trolleys will be T, Market Frankfurt will be M, or no L, excuse me. D is Delco trolleys, so the 101, 102. G is going to be Girard, et cetera, et cetera. So all right. Yeah, it's similar to the LA Transit rebrand, but it's a little bit more in depth. Oh, hello from midnight work shift. I know how that is. I worked at a warehouse one summer at night. Um, Definitely gets lonely. Sorry for the apple crunching. Um, I like that they have names and aren't just a location. Yeah, I mean, like, so SEPTA originally had the regional rail branded as R systems, kind of like a German system, like an S-Bahn. But they found that normal people, aka people in the United States that don't ride trains often, found that kind of confusing. So they started just calling the terminus or the biggest termini on the line again the line's name. So instead of calling it the what was, like, the R5 or something was the Paoli Thorndale. I don't remember them perfectly, but basically there was like R1 through 7 or 8, and then they changed them back to their normal names. But they were there for a while. They were there from like the 80s until mid 2000s. Is Jason and I in good terms? I think he's having a moment. I think he's having a moment with a lot of people. Excuse me for eating, because I had nothing for a while. Do these streams have a schedule? I'm gonna try to stream every Friday afternoon, Friday night. That's what I'm gonna try to do. Um, that means you have to be very what you call it, very consistent. Like, obviously it started at like 11 a.m. Eastern Standard, which is not consistent with the one that was before. Yeah, I'm gonna give not just Bikes or Jason a little bit of space at the moment. Because like I don't know. I mean, I don't think he quite takes online criticism the same way I take online criticism. But I also think that he views his content differently than I do. Like, I purposely view my content as very jokey a lot of times. Like, obviously, I have serious messages mixed into some of my stuff, and like very serious political messages mixed into my stuff. But like, um, it's my content is still something that I know has flaws, and that I know either I could fix certain things about it, or that like it's not going to personally affect like my life about these individual things or whatever. Um, but what was it? I think the thing that's Jason's having tough times with criticism is I don't think he's ever taken like he's older, so I think internet criticism gets to him a little bit more than like me. Um, and oh, nice, you like the steel mix? Yeah, no, pendulum and King Gizzard are a large part of my workout mix. I mean, I just love pendulum in general. But yeah, I think Jason views criticism differently than I do. Um, for two reasons. One, a generational thing. Like when a YouTube video comes out, I'll usually pay attention to the comments for the first like 12 hours, maybe day ish, and then after that, I won't pay attention to them anymore. And even if I see a dumb comment, I'm like, well, that person's just ignorant. So I'm just like, I move on. I don't take it personally. Um, and what was it? So so generally, like, yeah, there are some bad comments I see once in a while, but they don't bug me that much because I've been through way worse and I don't care too much. But like, I think the now I'm just assuming, I don't know this, but I'm assuming that part of the reason why he might have a tougher time taking criticisms of his videos is that he like his channel is about his move. So like if someone criticizes his video, part of that criticism he could take as it's a criticism of his choice to move to the Netherlands. So like that could be like a person he takes it more personally because of that. That's a bit difficult on the internet to do that. But that's might be the case. Let's see what I gotta catch up with chat. Man hasn't played enough TF2. Oh, I used to play a shit ton of TF2. Have you checked out the MTA 20-year assessment? No, not yet. I know I've seen a few things about it. I also saw the thing about the Second Avenue subway. Alan, do you shave or do you just blessed with facial hair? I do shave. It's usually just the neck stuff because I don't want to look terrible. But for the most part, yeah, it's not really shaped up much. It's pretty how it grows in. I trim it, obviously. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, like my hair is pretty light. When I was in high school, I had like what's it? I had like super blonde, like really bleach blonde hair just naturally, and now it's more just kind of dirty blonde. But are you going to the Rowan Progressives Labor Panel? I talked to them, so can ask them about it, but I don't know when that's happening. Do you think it's bad for people to be overly concerned about project cost overruns? Yes, to a point. I think that cost overruns are dumb when there's a obvious flaw that can be avoided. But what is it? Like the thing that kills me about this is the new BART extension to San Jose. Oh shit. The new BART extension to San Jose is dumb, but it's not dumb in that like they shouldn't extend BART there. They should. They should extend BART using either elevated rail or cut and cover. They should not dig to the center of the earth to build the extension into San Jose. And there's a lot of people that we saw this coming from miles away because we were like, we criticized it a few years ago when we saw this was happening, and we're like, oh, of course they're gonna get tons of consultants. They're gonna bend their knee to the NIMBYs, and they're gonna dig to the center of the earth, and then have these long ass stairwells that go down to the platforms, and that's gonna be their thing. But yeah. So I mean, I would. Uh, I would I would say that yeah, for the most part, we should ignore costs on transit projects, but there is some where there's just obvious mistakes that are caused by just a few dozen people, and those few dozen people make cost overruns of these projects insane. And by a few dozen people, I don't just mean the people designing it. I also mean like the few NIMBYs that homeowners that are bitching. No, ignore them, and just build the thing, because the millions of people that will use it a year will cancel out the 12 people or so that are bitching about their land or whatever. So yeah, cut and cover elevated would be the best way to go about it. um, I haven't been on the Minecraft in a while, so I'll go on it back eventually. um the big dig and cost overruns. I think the big dig's main problem is that people did not know. I think they underestimated how much work they would have to do, because the problem with stuff like the Big Dig is that these projects are for cars, so that means that like a good portion of the project has to go around the fact that traffic still has to keep moving. So like you can't just dig out the thing, build the thing, and then recover it and it's good. No, you need to work around all the existing car infrastructure to dig out and do the thing, dismantle the current car infrastructure, and just start up the new car infrastructure soon after, so there's not a big bottleneck to drivers, because we care about drivers. Um, so the problem with the big dig is that like in a vacuum and in a place where you did not have to deal with traffic and you could just take down the thing, build the thing, and go, it would have probably been at budget or under budget. But because you have to do all the extra stuff, that made it go over. But yeah, I'm sure there was some corruption. There's always corruption in every project. It's just the amount of corruption that affects it. How do you reckon we solve the problem with shitty commuter rail lines like the West Coast Express? Just run more trains. That's honestly the easiest thing. What about the Glassboro Camden line? Opinions on the Glassboro Camden? It's fine. I think that like um, South Jersey should have a better system, but honestly, if this gets the foot in the door for building a better system, that's fine with me. Um, I saw some. Should Amtrak Metro North prioritize connecting Penn Station to Grand Central? I don't really see that too much of a benefit unless you have through running from NJ Transit to LIRR. Will I ever do a crossover with American Rail Club? Maybe, because I'm doing a Brightline video in the future. When is the cross country bike lane coming? Well, isn't there one that goes like they're trying to build one that's like cross country? I forget. Let me check, see if the link on Twitter is going anywhere, or whatever the fuck it's called nowadays. Let me see. See if it got posted. Where is... Oh, like 4 people liked it. Yeah, like Twitter's so weird because when you post like a link or something that goes off-site, it does not promote it. Why are Anglosphere countries in particular so bad at building transit infrastructure? I feel like California. No, it's not that Anglosphere countries are bad at building transit infrastructure. It's just that they have like stupid governments. And by stupid governments, I mean that like they generally have neoliberal or conservative people in power, and that means that you just don't know how to build stuff, or you are have austerityed yourself into oblivion, and then you have to build back up. Um, you have to build back up knowledge internally again because you killed all that because you contracted it all out to hell. So you got to build up. You got to. I can't think of the word. You got to build up internal knowledge again of projects and how to do them. Debatable. Canada is good at building transit. I think certain types of transit, yes. They can't build inner city for their life. Um, let me see. I didn't know they had a 50. Let me look that up. I don't usually like the Delaware Valley Regional Planning Authority because I think that I think that they're too, I think that they're way too conservative with how they plan things. They really only plan like bike lanes and shit because it's the only thing that they believe in getting done and getting their resume padded. I think that yeah, I think that the DVRPC is way too conservative. And not conservative in political wise. I mean conservative in just like what they want to do. Where is a link to their plan? Oh, here it is. Oh, they have a map. Okay, let's look at the map. Hold up, one sec. Any progress in the new Acela trains? Quite the opposite. They're trying to figure things out right now because there was a big document that came out recently talking about how screwed over Amtrak got by Alstom. Basically, my Acela video, I was right. The problem is that the problem with my Acela video and the problem with a lot of like rail infrastructure videos is that oh yeah, Amtrak will definitely sue in the future, or at least they will. They've held money back so far from Alstom. Um, but what was it? Part of the problem with a lot of rail infrastructure and just railroad related stuff is that I have friends. Hold on, I gotta reply. Whoop. Um, let's see. Yeah, no, before I got distracted. Um, so there's a lot of rail infrastructure stuff that I could talk about. Also, open this. There's a lot of rail infrastructure stuff I could talk about, and I could name drop people, and I could interview people to have in the video. But the problem with the rail industry is that there is not many people in the rail industry, and if you know each other, you know each other, and you can easily get kicked out of places because you've leaked information. And like even if the information's fine to leak out into the world, it's just people kind of have a sort of curtain around the rail industry. Like, no one outside of the rail industry is supposed to understand the rail industry, so thus people like me exist where we have to explain the whole thing. Um, yeah, Brian's saying in chat, everyone knows everyone. So basically, if you talk about someone, even if you talk about a position in something, they will know who it is. Because they can basically figure out like, oh, that's the person that's younger that could possibly know Alan, and they do this thing and they talk about this thing. So yeah. Have you heard of the rumored GG1 trust? That's according to. I don't believe that exists until I see a web page. That sounds like a Foamer thing. Obviously, the T1 trust exists, but a GG1 trust, that sounds like it's just made up by some Foamers. I have not heard anything about that. Why can't we know about the rail industry? They don't want you to know. The class ones, mostly the class ones, exist in a spot in American minds where no one knows anything about them other than they have blocked me at a grade crossing. And they want to keep themselves like that because they don't want the public to understand how they operate, or else they'll be looked at more. And then that means they'll have laws written against them more. So they want to keep themselves as quiet as possible so that they don't get any attention drawn to the industry. That's why I have been told a few times now that the class ones know of me and other people similar to me, and they don't like us because we actually highlight a lot of the stuff that they do and bring it to the front. And class ones and other railroad stuff. Yep, pretty much. Let's see. What's it? Actually, Brian, if you want, I can call you. We can talk about it. Okay. Yeah, no, they don't like. I've been told this, that they don't like me, and like they know about our nationalization sort of PR pushes. They're not dumb about it. Um, so like, and there's many people inside of the class ones and railroad rolling stock manufacturers and whatnot that watch this content and watch like similar videos and watch stuff like this, and they talk about it. It gets around. Um, I have been contacted by some people at some of the rolling stock companies to sort of talk offhand about things. I won't say who it is, but like it does happen. People become invested into this stuff and they want to talk about it, and or they want to talk to you because they're like, "Hey, I want to come sway you a certain direction." All right, what's on this map? Let's start clicking on shit. Ah, of course, road infrastructure shit is on here. The Kutztown train show tomorrow. I did not know about that. Um. Okay, of course, road infrastructure is going to be on here. Here, let me move chat because we got to see the thing here. Excuse me. Definitely a blacklist somewhere. Yeah, I'm sure. Let's see. Put my phone back on the charger. It's almost dead. Remember the one of the last live streams you said that California is better than Thailand? I mean, I'm just saying that like generally living standards and stuff like that are better in California, but there are many things that Thailand is better at than California. Um, Having walkable cities for one is that makes Thailand way better. Okay. It's a Broad Street line. What is this? Okay, so it's a bunch of road infrastructure bullshit. Oh, interesting. When was this written? When was this modified? Is there a way to? Because new surface transit line along Roosevelt Boulevard. Now that doesn't sound like a, because it's surface transit. That doesn't sound like heavy rail. So I guarantee this was done before the recent push for stuff. Around 2021. Okay, that makes sense then, because that's when they were talking about like light rail or some bullshit, which we do not need. All right, let's try to figure out some other. Okay, Northeast Corridor stuff. Support higher speeds and increased level of service. Okay, that's kind of obvious. What's here in New Jersey? Okay, road 322 widening. No. No. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Don't do that. Let me see, Glassboro Camden line. What are these green ones over here? South Jersey BRT. Okay, they've talked about that shit forever. This is so lame. Like, this is why I don't like the DVR PC, is because they're just like, they have the, like, it's the most lame, low effort, just vision of the future. For the Northeast Corridor, they should focus on upgrading existing tracks to high speed or adopt North American Rail Plan through Hartford. We'll talk about this in a sec, but basically most of the Northeast Corridor is fine. It's just the only real fucked up plan is through Connecticut, or the part is through Connecticut. We'll go over that in a little bit. Positive train control. Oh man, my trolleys can't overspeed now. Lame. What's this one? Elwyn extension. Yeah, that one already happened. And then they want to restore Westchester line. That should obviously happen. What is this? US 1 reconstruction. What is this? At Glen line extension. Huh? What is this? Rail extension from Thorndale to At Glen. Oh, is that just the Keystone? What is this? Jacktown Square. Why? Weston Town Square. That's a good one. Is that on? Yeah, that's on. Okay. I make that way. All right, we'll just drag it. Oh wait, no. Open in browser. Open link. Oh no. Okay. There we go. Let's see. What did someone else tag me in? Okay. Make sure I open this back up. Okay. Let's see. What is this? So this is some goofy. Why is it one tracked? Does At Glen have a station? Parksburg. Why? This is so. I feel like. Okay. Come on, zoom in. PDF, please. Okay, this is kind of goofy to me because, like, I feel like at some point, if you just look at the Keystone Corridor, like, SEPTA is slowly creeping west. Um, so like, wait, is at Glen the Paradise one? No, that one's up here. That one's right here. That's that curve. This is the old low line. What's it called? The I'm forgetting the name. But like I feel like this is goofy. This is very goofy because this is incredibly goofy because at some point SEPTA is just going to go all the way to Harrisburg, and it's kind of becomes like, oh, Amtrak runs all the express stuff and SEPTA will just run the entire line. It just begs the question of like Harrisburg needs a commuter rail, and it's like it's kind of goofy that they don't. Oh, excuse me. Mark from Baltimore to Harrisburg. I would love that. The port was it Port Road line or whatever. You know, there's actually one talked about that's not that. Here, let's go to Rail Guide. Let's go to this. I don't know why it starts on Atlanta. So if we look at this area, this is your Keystone. This is what we're talking about. And here's at Glen right there. Can I click on it? No. Okay. It should just say Amtrak. Yeah, Keystone Corridor Amtrak. So, if we flip over to classic owners, this shows everything. So this used to be the Enola low grade, and it's just as it sounds. It was just a bypass to go around Lancaster and meet up at right outside of Middletown, basically. It was for freight. It's just to get freight off the Keystone. Hey, Cameron. Several cross country. You going to Outfest tomorrow at 4th and Market? Yes, I will probably be there. I'm queer personally, but so I will. I knew it was happening, but we'll see if it gets rained out because either way, it sounds like a fun event. So one of the few things that are being talked about currently, we're going to go. Let's go back to current. Okay. So one of the things that's being talked about, because the frustrating thing that you're talking about is there's this line here that goes from Harrisburg down the Susquehanna to Perryville and then down to Baltimore. That's called the Port Road, or that's what it used to be called. The Port Road used to be owned by Conrail, and Amtrak used to run stuff on it. It was fully electrified. Because if we go to here, and we go to just find a street view portion. It pains me so fucking much to see this, but if you go to Street View and you go along the Port Road, there are multiple places like this where you can see old catenary and there's just no wires. There are many places around the Northeast United States where you can see shit like this, where there was obviously wires at some point, but they got taken down. Another place where you can see this is in North Jersey. If you go to this section around here, there's some old tracks that kind of cut through this area. One of the bigger ones is through this area, through Sayreville. If you go along this section here, you can see old catenary stuff. Yep, old catenary. Right there. It's like frustrating. We have less electrification in the country than we did in like 1950 or 1960s into the 70s. That there's just so much of that shit. I mean, if you want, like, go down to Washington D.C., you can see more shit down here. Like, where's the spot? Like, if you look over onto your main line here, yeah, you have old catenary poles and equipment that used to be there. There's just a ton of shit that used to be electrifying, it's just not anymore. Half the route mileage. Yeah, that fucking sucks. Like the one that what are the other ones that hurt me? Because that one hurts. There are some other disconnected stuff that's through the Northeast here that were just coal railroads. But for the most part, it was mostly old Pennsy stuff that's disappeared. The Trenton cutoff, yeah. So that one hurts even more because, like, Trenton cutoff. You find a road along this that goes over the Trenton cutoff. Yeah, like here. This makes me so, like, sad because you zoom into a road like this, you turn over. What does that say? Oh, and it's just not there anymore. Yeah, you can go to multiple stuff. Rewatching your videos recently, remembered you pointed out how large Salt Lake City's blocks are. I was curious general opinion about Salt Lake City's transit. It's good. It's generally probably some of the best transit in the West. This one doesn't have the... Yeah, I can look at Salt Lake. I think the only issues with Salt Lake is literally the land use, because, like, the transit is not bad. Like, it's the one thing that, like, it's the one city that you can use, like, conservatives can use as, like, oh, conservative cities or conservative states don't have bad transit, because, like, actually Salt Lake City is not that bad compared to other stuff, because you have your airport line goes to the airport, which it does have a little bit of a weird walk from the platforms to the actual building. That's fine though. At least it exists. Front Runner is one of the best commuter rail lines in the country, which is saying a lot. And then I don't know. Some of the lines are a little bit weird as they, like, they miss some stuff because they use old rail right of ways. But, like, you can't do much with this kind of density around stuff, because, like, the problem is not the light rail. The problem is you have your single family, like, whatchamacallit, you have your single family cul-de-sac, like, next to a station. That shouldn't be the case. Like, this whole parking lot should have some 5/1s built on top of it. I think some of my favorite parts of the whatchamacallit, favorite parts about this is that this light rail actually has a freight line that interchanges with it. And the freight line actually runs, like, on these tracks. The wires are just super high, and the freight trains can go on it. I forget what the short line is called, but it's really funny. You can look up, like, videos of it running, and it runs at night. It's one of those things that literally cannot continue to exist in its current state. The lake is getting dry. Yeah, that's more of an issue with Department of the Bureau of Land Reclamation or whatever, or Bureau of Land Management, and them divvying out water rights, because it's water rights and people using too much of the lake's water. But yeah, I think Salt Lake City is the good part of Utah. The bad parts of Utah are the places where people are moving, and sort of like greenifying deserts, like down here, like St. George area. Like this is an abomination. Because like the actual downtown of St. George is not bad. It's like your typical older American city, just has too much parking. But like, you shouldn't be farming here. What are you doing? I just you shouldn't be farming here. Um, you shouldn't be building this bullshit. Like I'm so annoyed because like the problem is that like these places obviously have cheap land because they can just like sell it off because it's just state owned stuff, but it's just like you shouldn't be developing this. There was one that was like worse than that, so someone pointed out before to me, and I'm forgetting the name of it. But I remember it was down here ish. Do you think Salt Lake City or Phoenix would be a better candidate for Brightline West Extension? Thoughts on Duluth? It's good. People will be moving back there in about 15 years. Salt Lake City, or I mean, like Salt Lake City is, if you're going from Los Angeles to Las Vegas, the obvious continuation is to this direction up to Salt Lake City. But like Phoenix is technically closer. So Phoenix would, and you could honestly build from Los Angeles to Phoenix in like a Y, probably faster. And most of your distance is going to be through the desert here, which would be pretty easy to build through, and then you end up in Phoenix. Repairing an old Bachmann F unit in Amtrak Phase 1's paint scheme. Fun. Duluth has gone and goes insane. Spent 2 days there a bit ago. I need to get up there. I'm excited for I'm excited for when they start the passenger line to Duluth. Because yeah, Minneapolis to Duluth. Apparently, they were running test trains from Chicago to Minneapolis, but apparently it was just a CPKC like employee family train or something like that they were like doing. I don't know. I think that's the cover for it, but I think it was a test train. What kind of maps we look at? I mean, I'm looking at everything right now, but I was talking about Salt Lake City for a bit. What I was going to talk about, SEPTA Philly related is, I see, actually, hold up. Let me go back to this and open that again. Okay. Because I didn't see this before, so I'm like trying to... Yeah, all the stuff on this is really lame. Like the DVR PC is just lame. Like they don't... You can tell that there's a bunch of people in charge. Like this is 2050. You have 25 years and you got lame shit like electronic tolling, like what is this? A road widening. What is this? Improvements, multimodal experience. Yeah, it's just a road repaving. Like the DVR PC is just so fucking lame. Like please get your ass in gear. Like here's one of the only ones that actually like is relevant is that like you're building the train line that should have existed a while ago anyway. It's just I have yelled at them before. I yelled at them in the Patco video. They don't even have any Patco improvements on here. You have 25 years and your one Patco improvement is probably like this. It's probably the Franklin Square station. And it's just like Philadelphia congestion pricing. It should happen. It's not politically. We couldn't politically do it at the moment. Excuse me. Yeah, no, like exactly. There's no. For the longest time, it's just been believed. What is rehabilitation of 7 bridges? Yeah, there's no like It's just rebuild. There's no like extra service or something like that. No one's like, it's just so lame. They're so lame. Like, the problem is that people in charge of these agencies and people in Philadelphia have done the same thing forever, and they've never seen any big projects go through. So they're very like timid about getting anything done, and they'll promote like bike lanes and long distance modal stuff over actual like in like large projects, which is fine if you want bike lanes, fine if you want multimodal paths, but like, you're only doing this because you can pad your resume and say you completed it instead of actually going for the larger project and like advocating for something. No, you're just going to go for the bullshit path that's going to be a rail trail or some bullshit, and that's going to pad my resume to say I finished something. No, actually like build the big thing. Build the thing that's kind of controversial. But the problem is that like most of the stuff, West Trent. Okay, here we go. West Trenton Line expansion up into New Jersey. I mean, yeah, this should go to Bound Brook. What does it say? Um, you think they'll update? Maybe. I know this is from 2021, and a lot has changed since then, but still, it's still a lot of the people that were in charge of the agency then are still in charge now. And the problem is not the lower end people that have just gotten hired. It's always going to be your old heads in charge. Um, always going to be. What is all this shit up here? Oh, BRT? I guess. Sure. Now in your previous line of thought about re-electrification's lines in Northeast, I'm from Albany and live in Queens now, and lost transit haunts me. See so much of the New York CR relics around Albany, Union, Troy Union, etc. Yeah, I mean, like, where is it? I mean, you want to talk about fucking haunting? You can talk about Syracuse. I've talked. So there's an older video on my channel that not many people watched, and it's me going to Syracuse and kind of doing like a regular car reviews, like making fun of the city. If you don't know, Syracuse is your typical upstate city. It had a highway run down the center of it. Actually, two, 81 and 690. 81 is going to get turned into a boulevard soon, which is great. But like, it's an insult, and it's an insult in more ways than one, because not only is it taking over your downtown city, but what do you think? What right of way do you think they use for 690? What right of way? Let's look. Oh, here's your rail yard. Rail yard comes straight into here. Oh, where did the rail line go? Well, it's an even bigger fucking insult, because if you zoom in on your fucking highway here, oh, what's that? Oh, God. When I saw that for the first time, when I went to Syracuse, I almost couldn't believe it. I almost couldn't believe that, one, I thought they moved it there, because I was like, oh, that's kind of cute. You lost your rail station, but you put it next to the highway. Like, it's kind of neat. No, they built it through the fucking middle of the station. Your head house is right here. This was like a 12-track station. Oh, go away. This is like a 12-track station, and it's an old New York Central one. Like, it's a beautiful like Art Deco New York Central station, and it's just like, it's cool. It's a TV station nowadays, so they at least saved the building. There's a cool little mural of like a Hudson on it or something. But it's just like, that's such a fucking insult. Let me show you the new Amtrak station, by the way. The new Syracuse Amtrak station. Here's your big ass mall, and here's your new station right here. So you got your you have a Amtrak parked at the station currently, in the image, but like, it's a pretty busy station. Like, you get actual half decent service. I guess it's cut my. Here, can I move that? Yeah, you get like half decent service on like the Empire Corridor. I actually like the service a lot. I've used it many times. But like the station infrastructure and all the stuff is sucky. So sucky. Um, this station, it's half decent. It has your like Greyhound terminal. It has a bus terminal in it. It has covered platforms, high platforms. But it's just like everything about this is just like it's just half-assed. And then like you got a side platform dual direction station. So Amtrak often gets delayed because it has to move over from the far left rail here all the way over to the right just to get onto the platform, even though you're going eastbound. Um, so dumb. Um, and the worst part is you can here. Let me read your comment before this goes away. Thoughts on Queenslink and Queensway in New York City? Why MTA ignoring Queenslink despite its benefits? I have read a little bit about this. And I think someone has messaged me about this. Is this the one I think it is? Is this let's open the Twitter. Yeah, so is this the one that's like using this again? Okay, so it's using the A train. Okay, so there's some people okay, so generally I think this is good. Um but I think there's some operational issues with it. And I'm not a New York person, but I remember talking to some New York people that actually work for some of this stuff, and um, they've talked about this project and how there's some issues with it. So I think that they will probably do it eventually. I think that they just won't do it the way it's proposed here. Um, I would need to talk to those specific people about their issues with this, but it was an operational aspect of why they didn't like it too much. But I agree, this should happen. Um, I'll follow this too. Um, yeah, no, after Syracuse, upstate Albany, thoughts. Donating Queens Channel is not too. Now after Syracuse, something Albany. Thank you again. Um, yes, I know it's using the old LIR Rockaway line. I just like I would need to read more into it, but I remember there was some arguments about like the specifics of using the right of way, because like using the right of way makes sense. It's just that I'm trying to remember. There was some big controversy. Some of my friends that actually work in transit stuff, and they were like talking about there was issues with it, but I forget what they said. But I think that they approved of it. They just said that there's problems with it. What game are we playing? I will be playing some stuff in a little bit, but for right now, we're playing Google Maps Simulator. Ignoring it in favor of Queen's Way. Let me double check what that is. MTA. Okay, so this is the other one. Oh, is this the rail trail? Is this the rail trail? Plan overview. Is this just a... Is this a rail trail? They're really saying... There's not... Okay. Okay. Okay, conversion of former rail line into parks and trails, urban data. These blah 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 blah. Wide array blah 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 blah. Fluff. Okay. Conversion of this land into new public park. Okay. So it is they're doing the lame thing. You can do both. I don't understand why people don't think you can do both. Like, obviously, um, yeah, they use the term linear park. Except the rail is gone. Well, there's some of the rail still there, but like, it would, yeah, I don't think that's a good idea. Just so the problem with rail trails. Okay, we're gonna talk about something in Philly because that's what I can relate it to. So in Philadelphia, we have this dumb fucking line called the Bala Kinwood line, and as you can see, it goes off of the main line here, which is your Paoli Thorndale line, and it goes 1, 2, 3 stops, and that's it. It goes from here, and then it goes into the city, and it's basically I think it runs like 5 times a day or something like that. It's 5 or 6 times a day. It's dumb. It's There's been multiple different proposals for what to do with it, but the main problem is that like, so if we look, let's go to rail guide. So here's our Bala Kinwood line. You can see that like it doesn't go anywhere, but if we switch to classic owners, it used to go somewhere. Yeah, the catenary is still there too. So what used to happen is it used to go over this bridge down here, and in 1800s railroad fuckery, you had 2 main lines that parallel each. Actually, 3 main lines technically, if you count the other side of the river. You had 3 main lines paralleling each other, then 2 main lines paralleling each other, all the way up to Reading. Dumb, dumb, dumb. Obviously, you're just wasting money having 2 parallel main lines. So what happened is in the 1970s, I think it was like late 1960s, 1970s, the Pennsylvania Railroad cut back service to, I think, what is this, Spring Mill, and then eventually they cut it back under Penn Central to Ivy Ridge, and it for a while, I think until the late 80s, early 90s, there was a service that ran from downtown Philadelphia to Ivy Ridge, and it ran over this bridge up here. It's cool bridge. Like it. It's a dope bridge. Yeah, the Kinwood line is definitely worse than the Dinky, because the Dinky runs all day and it runs like every 30 minutes. The Kinwood line runs 6 times a day ish, or 6-7 times a day. So of course, when they cut it back to Ivy Ridge, it became a lot less important, but it still interfaced with some of the transit in the area and got people to this area, and was able to, like, hey, if you lived in like Manayunk or somewhere, you could take a train and get to this section of the city, or even to 30th Street pretty quickly, because on the Reading section, on the Reading side, you had to go all the way from Manayunk, all the way around the city, all the way through here, and then once they connected it, you still had to go through the main section of the city and then over to 30th Street. Say you're going to there to get a train. So like the Ivy Ridge section did make sense. But nowadays it's obviously not used much anymore. Oop, didn't mean to open that. Struggle and get Amtrak back to Boise. It left in the mid 90s. I can talk about that in a bit. There's a bunch of Midwestern and Western stuff that's like that. Used to work at CSX Newcastle Willard back in the 90s. Oh, that's kind of cool. Newcastle, Delaware, I assume? Or. But anyway, this line that's now the Bala Kinwood line obviously terminates here at this single track station, and the line ends here. The rest of it has been turned into a bike trail. The bike trail goes all the way down, bike walking trail, multimodal path, whatever you want to call it. It goes all the way down here in Manayunk, and like it's a cool spot. I actually like going here. I like taking people here. Oh, that is old photography, but it looks like this. It looks very cool. And it's a cool spot. Like if you ever go to Philadelphia or want to go, like I like Lucky's Last Chance. I have that marked off here. One of my favorite bars in the area. That's a good spot. But anyway, if you ever go to Manayunk and you want to see a cool thing, you just walk up on the bridge and then you get a cool shot of like downtown Manayunk and the river, and you can see the skyline in the distance. It's a cool spot. But like it should be used for transit. It shouldn't be just a walking trail. Um, yeah, I've heard their tater tots are pretty good. I haven't tried them. Um, but yeah, so there's two issues. Is that like we want to go? Whoop, not that. Go away. We want to go to Reading again. So we want to get a train between Philadelphia and Reading. And currently, there's only one or two ways of doing that from 30th Street, because I'm going to assume that Amtrak is running this. So the one way that Amtrak will most likely do is that your train will leave from the lower section of platforms at 30th Street. It will go through the yard here. And it'll come up on Zoo Interlocking, which is this Y here, which goes a bunch of different directions. One of these tracks, oh, I guess I can see. One of these tracks currently is not connected to anything inside of the Y because it is a freight line. So if we go to Zoo, this freight line here is NS owned. It's NSCSX, I think. What is it? What is it on here? And well, technically it's Norfolk Southern, but CSX has through running rights. So this goes down here, and this connects with your NS line that goes along the Schuylkill. But if you follow it through the Y, it's this track here. It actually doesn't connect with anything. There's no switches or anything between the rest of anything in the Y, and it goes all the way through the yards without connecting with anything. And it goes up on a viaduct here through the yard and through the 30th Street area. Come on, Google Maps, please generate. Yeah, so this is your freight line. Oh, there's your Avelia sitting in the yard. This freight line is called the High Line. It goes through West Philly here, University City, and then comes down off into a Y here, and then goes into South Philly all the way down here to the rail yard down here in South Philly. Or it joins the corridor if you have a local train going somewhere. But it's mostly used to just avoid a lot of Philly section stuff. But what is it? Yeah, so if Amtrak wanted to go to Reading, they just come off of one of their tracks in the yard, off these silver tracks, and go on this black line here onto the NS main and go all the way down and then to Reading. As we know, the more you interface with Norfolk Southern, the worse you do because they generally will fuck up something. Yeah. Let's see. Whereas Conrail, yeah, technically it's Conrail shared assets. And if you're going to sleep, have a good night. So the other option is that Amtrak boards at a high platform on the SEPTA platform, goes through the SEPTA system, and then heads all the way down the Norristown line, all the way down to Norristown, and that's where you then go over to the NS main. So you avoid Norfolk Southern for at least a third or a fourth of the way to Reading. So that's obviously very beneficial. The problem is that Amtrak trains, if they're going to run, they would have to run through the Center City Tunnel on SEPTA system and then get on the Norristown line, which SEPTA already has enough congestion at certain points in the system, especially at North Broad interlocking area, because the Norristown trains have to come from the farthest right track all the way over to here and then head on the Norristown line because there's no flyover for that. So the other option here, I will get to this one second. The other option is you have your Bala Kinwood line, which is the old one. So if we go to why did my map please? Okay, map exploded. Hello. Okay. So you have your Bala Kinwood line, which is this. This is your old right of way. So this line interfaces directly with your Keystone corridor. So if Amtrak were to come out of 30th Street, and then go down the Keystone corridor, and then go down this Kinwood line, and we rebuilt this all the way out here to Manayunk Ivy Ridge, and then instead of we going down the lower section on the Reading, you went on the higher section on the Pennsylvania Railroad line. You could go down all the way down this to Spring Mills, which roughly where they come together. Both of them are at the same height. You could switch both of these. So you could switch the current SEPTA main from the Reading side to the Pennsy side because it's a bit higher. And this section notoriously floods. And then you also have Amtrak's ability to save about 10 to 15 minutes of time, plus missing Norfolk Southern tracks for at least a third of the distance. The problem is, and this goes back to what I was talking about with the Queens Link or Queens Way stuff, is that they built a rail trail on this. And the rail trail or whatnot, do I zoom in? No, that didn't fix it. It's borked. I'll fix it. So the problem is they built a rail trail through this, and the neighborhoods in this area, the Bala Kinwood area, are very rich neighborhoods. Big houses. Generally, doctors or people that work in the city that have expensive jobs will live in this area, and then they'll commute downtown. They won't be taking the train, or they rarely do. But so what I'm saying is that you're going to get the turbo NIMBYs in this area. And so if we were to want to put a train back here, we'd have to do it very quickly from announcement to when you actually start the construction. So if I were to recommend SEPTA to do this project, I would want to do it in a situation where they can run this project through the all the stuff as quick as possible. Because you are going to get resistance, and you do have a lot of homeowners that have money here, and they have money and stupid amount of time, and they will make sure that even if you single track, because what would happen is we would single track the line through this area over the bridge, and then double track it once it gets off the bridge, because you would still leave the rail trail here so that people can still bike and walk, but you just single track it so that like only half of it's taken up by the train and another half is taken up by the trail. So that would be the one way to avoid that would be the one project I'd say that we need to like push this through as fast as possible, because these people will generate just NIMBY particles, and it will not be good. And the more time they have to form a coalition against it, the worse it does. Anyway, let me get to, what was this? So Metra is basically extending the Milwaukee West line to Rockford, but it's only running there twice a day, and then all the other trains are terminating in Elgin. Initially, it's supposed to be Amtrak. Yeah, I remember reading about this. Excuse me. So yes, this is a political thing. So let me mute myself while I blow my nose. So this Rockford thing is interesting because I think this was a Pritzker, whatever the governor's name is. I think this was his doing, because I think originally it was supposed to be Amtrak, and then I think that Pritzker, or I'm fucking up his name, I know, but the guy, the Illinois governor, I think that his original thing was, he was going to Metro wanted some extra money, and Amtrak was going to get the money for the service. And because if we look, and then, oh, is this Rockford, Illinois. Because it was going to be Amtrak originally, and it makes sense as Amtrak. 'Cause I would not want to ride fucking like 2.5 hours on a gallery car. Um, rather ride on a Horizon or Amfleet. Yeah, I forget where they were going to put the station, but it's probably going to be somewhere around here. I think that the older station was probably around here somewhere. Definitely wasn't that building. But yeah, it's probably going to be somewhere around here, would be my guess. But yeah, I mean, it's a good town. It has like, I mean, all the Midwest towns are still towns. Like there's some sprawly stuff like this, but for the most part, they have a town, and it has a downtown, and it's quite dense. Um, so I mean, it'll be a good service. I just wish that like Metro had better equipment because like riding 2.5 hours on a gallery car, like how far? Okay, by the crow flies, it's about 80 miles. Say you average 40 miles an hour or whatever, 50 miles an hour, that's 2 hours, which is reasonable, but still, 2 hours on a gallery car. Ugh. Thoughts on San Diego trolley, bit overlooked in my opinion. Also, if you have time, Syndex 2021 plans are great. Recommend taking a look. Yeah, no, I think San Diego is definitely one of the better West Coast cities when it comes to sort of the way it's designed. Rockford is truly the armpit of Illinois. Car crash, aka NIMBY super collider. Yeah, I mean, basically, if you go to like, I mean, that's just 76, 676, or 76 Schuylkill Expressway. Yeah, but like San Diego's cool. It's, whereas, I don't think they have the newest transit update on Google Maps. I mean, they never do. Google Maps is just like frustratingly not updated. Um, I always find it interesting the Green Line. Is the Green Line light rail, or is that like is that the DMU thing? Is that light rail? Why is there not a station here? There's some good ass density here, and I assume this is all being developed. Okay, I guess I have to visit here eventually because this is interesting. This is so weird to me because like this is all new infrastructure, and like here in the this highway, ooh, um, here in the Northeast, you just don't see stuff like this a lot. It's all older shit. Um, yeah, that's like the wild thing about California. It's like when you guys do build infrastructure, it's like impressive, but it's just like it's just the stuff serving the infrastructure is just the problem. Um, it's neat. I didn't know the Green Line did that. I thought most of them just radiated out from downtown. This is goofy. They gotta fix that shit. Check out Glideways and their plans for San Jose. Sure will. Busiest light rail in the U.S. I feel like there should be an What's the wait? I feel like it's the busiest because it's the biggest, or one of the biggest. But I mean, like, I guess like the only one you're competing with really is LA. But LA, the problem is just mainly land use and just perception. Because I feel like people in San Diego have less of a bad opinion about their transit system than people in LA. Because like LA has such a doomer fucking mindset about its transit system. Oh shit. Okay, remember we talked about Syracuse briefly? Brian sent me this. Um, yeah, let me go. Come on. So let's look at Syracuse again briefly. So yeah, this is, let me get the same angle. I think it was like this. This is fucking depressing. Yeah, you had your, I think 12 tracks almost, because you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 platforms. Yeah, 2 tracks each platform, 12 tracks. So yeah, a little depressing there. It says more like this angle. Yeah, it's kind of the worst part is apparently, because you can still see the retaining wall here, and apparently the retaining wall in a lot of the because when you have a train station, obviously you enter through the front building, you walk under these platforms, and then you come up into the platforms. So there's walkways underneath, and apparently a lot of those walkways still exist under the highway. Um, but yeah, that's painful. Hey Morgan. So what was look, check out Sideways and their plans for San Jose. What is that? Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, I remember this. Oh no, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Yeah, I remember reading about this. This is the one that's going to the airport, which, like, of all goofy shit you could be doing, I guess it's the least harmful goofy shit is going to the airport. Um, yeah. The pod. Good in the pod. Consume the tech bro-ness. Oh no. No. I think the thing that pains me the most when I see something like this is like there's so many people that are working, like there's so many engineers, there's so many graphic design people, there's so many like materials people, there's so many like there's actual materials and actual effort going into this, and it's like that all could be spent on so much more relevant and useful shit. And it's just not, because capitalism invests people to grift their ways into projects to get money. And it's just uh the funny part is the thing that like everyone makes fun of, which is like monorails. Monorails are not that bad. Monorails are actually the better end of the spectrum of gadget bonds, whereas stuff like this, the pods are at the very bottom. So it's just like, VFX artist. Well, of course. Um, yeah, just how do you, Alan? How do I feel about the Flyers waving Allison from the roster today? Do you think he'll get claimed by another team? If he doesn't suck, yeah, probably. Let's see. Let's look back at I don't understand why there's no line that goes out to the island here, because I feel like you'd want people to go from the Navy base to downtown. But I feel like I'm getting very much turbo NIMBY energy from this section of the island. I have a feeling. I don't even need to be told by one of you. I'm just feeling it. Um is Coronado is that not in the San Diego is that not owned by them? Okay, so it's not. So that's a different. But they do run the lines outside of San Diego. What the fuck? Wait, what? Why? 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 Why do they own like an enclave? Huh? Fucking West Coast cities are so goofy. What the fuck? Why is this not why is this has to be what? There's an enclave within an enclave? What the fuck is over here? What is this? What where is why is that not included? Oh my god. High concentration of NIMBY particles. Yeah, pretty much. Uh Sand mine. Okay, landfill. Now separate. Yeah, I mean like yeah. The weird part about California is that like these houses are pretty close together. But they're probably millions of dollars. Because California prices um let's look at the light rail through this section. Okay, it goes next to the highway, so half of your catchment area is just ass. Okay, there's a bus terminal here, which is kind of good. Look at this station. There's a bus terminal here at this one too. See, like the thing is like California builds good shit. It's then just fills up like it builds good shit and then next to it is bad shit. Um that's like the main like synopsis. And I realized that if you don't say anything, NIMBYs can't ruin things. Also, take a look at the DTSD pop growth since 2000. Oh, I know it's grown a lot. Go away. The ever-growing blob that is Fort Worth. Oh God. Well, Fort Worth, Dallas. I've joked about it with a few people, but there is like the Hitler particles around Fort Worth, Dallas area are off the charts. I mean, what is it? You have the biggest municipality in the United States without transit. I think it's hold on, we gotta look. Google, please load. Yeah, so like for those who don't know, Dallas and Fort Worth, pretty cool cities. Everything surrounding this, Hitler particles. Some of the suburbs are half decent, but a lot of the other suburbs, Hitler particles. I think the big one is Arlington. I think Arlington is one of the biggest municipalities in the country without transit or something like that. Yeah, Arlington. Um, yeah, yeah, Arlington is I think the biggest municipality in the country without transit. I think it's like 100K or more than how much Arlington. Please look this up. Arlington, Texas, pop. Jesus, almost 400,000 people, no transit. That's insane. Um, that's wild. Because Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys. Hitler particles, meaning terrible people. That's what I mean. Mostly just insane conservatives. If you look up people that showed up to the January 6th insurrection, a good percentage of them came from this area only. Which is wild. Like a decent percentage of them, like a good chunk of the entire people that showed up came from the suburbs of this area. See, so the thing about SoCal is that transit is there, but the frequency is not. Also, or so because of that, no one takes it. I don't know. It can't be that bad. Like, how bad is this blue line that we were looking at earlier? Let's look at that one station. Wait, is that? Oh, that's a little. That why is that line there? It's weird. All right, let's look at the frequency on this. Okay. So it looks like 3 destinations you can go. So UTC comes every 30 minutes, it looks like. Yeah, every 30 minutes. How about this one? Comes every that's every 10 minutes? That's every 10 minutes. That's not terrible. An American Plaza. I assume UTC and the American Plaza are like a fork at the end, and then the sand. This place is the opposite direction. Mainly talking about LA. Oh, gotcha. 15 minutes. Yeah, 15 minutes ain't bad. Yeah, LA is so weird because like you'll get like really cool shit in LA where like you get the tunnel here with your heavy rail and like that's half decent, but then it'll run at like 30 minutes a piece like here, whereas yeah, like this is running every like 10, 20, 25 minutes. Like why? Why is a heavy rail metro running every 20 minutes, 23 minutes headways? The San Diego news station upzoning is so based. I agree. They've done a lot of good upzoning in downtown San Diego. It's the one thing they've done well. Yeah, no, WMATA has done a really good compared to what it was used to be. Miss anything? Can't wait for Navy or to announce a new bids. 500-foot bridge is fed land downtown like many. System hours at LA Metro piss me off. Yeah, because what is it end at? No way it ends at like 10:48. Does it really? LA Metro timetables. No way it ends at 10:48. What is this? The B line that we were looking at, the red one. What were we looking at? We were looking at Vermont Beverly Station. Okay. Monday through Friday. So your first train at 4:30 a.m. Your last train. No, this got to be later because is that the last fucking train? Is your last train at that time? Oh my god. Like LA is a party city. Why would you stop trains at midnight? No. How about the weekend? Are they better on the weekend? No? Why? Yeah, why would you stop them at midnight? Because at least, like, is there bus replacement service at night for LA? Like, does anyone know that? Um, ends around 11 midnight on weekends. Well, it's just so goofy because like LA Metro, LA Metro, like I don't, it just boggles my mind when Patco, the fucking one singular line in Philly can run 24 hours a day, and like an entire city like Los Angeles can't run like a line or two that are very important like all night. Cause like Patco, yeah, its frequency sucks at night. You get down to 45, 40-minute frequencies like late at night, but it's still running. You still have a singular train going back and forth shuttling people. Like that's so important, especially for late night shift people. Um yeah, cause like I've stand Patco before, but like it really is amazing that this singular red line here can run 24 hours a day. And it obviously doesn't have the best land use either, but like, come on. Because like to show you guys, yeah, here's your late night trains. I think it runs every hour. It's one train. It takes 30 minutes to go one way, so it's just one train doing a rotation. And so it's like, yeah, even if you're stuck in the city, you at least know that like you can catch the next train when it comes. Um so like you can be like to a friend, "Hey, I'm going to head out at this time to catch this 1 a.m. train." And they'll be like, "Okay." And then someone will walk you to the station and like you'll get the train and go home. Like that's so much nicer than calling an Uber because like you can at least plan your night around, "Hey, this is when the last or these late night trains will show up." So extend Patco to New York well, that's Path. That's a different one. There's Patco and Path. Patco, yeah. The main problem with I have Patco is I think at peak it only runs 6 minute headways. And then most of the day it runs like 12-minute headways, and it's just like, no, you should run the 6 minute more often, especially if you build up around it. You should look at the Star in Frisco, Jerry Jones' vision of urbanism. The Star in Frisco. Um, where is the Star? Is that downtown? Is this the right Frisco? Apartment towers, mid-rises go up everywhere, zero transit. Yeah. Been nothing since Frisco. The Star. Oh, is this is oh, what? This isn't the Cowboys main field, is it? The Cowboys main field is some no. This is their practice field. Is that the main one? This is the main one, right? Cowboys World Headquarters. Yeah, I guess this is their place. That's interesting. So there is like they're building density around this. That's so interesting. Huh. See, it's so strange when like theoretically if you wanted to extend main field is in Arlington, they play in Arlington. So this is like the practice area. Interesting. Um the one and only I'll get to these. Does Frisco have like cuz I know okay. So like is there a rail line that goes from oh, is it going to be slow tonight? Okay. So there's a rail line that goes from. Is that from the junction? There's a junction somewhere here. Is this the junction? Yeah. So, like. Where is this? Dallas Garling Northeast Railroad Incorporated. Okay, so that's where. Okay, so it is down here. So you could run a service that goes from Dallas to Frisco. It just takes this line up here, just comes off of the light rail. Too bad the DMU service starts here because it would be really cool if the DMU could come down here and then start at this place and then branch off. All right. Check out the Navwar project. Navwar. I'm assuming it's all this stuff. Is this new? Doesn't look that new. Or is it this? Navwar projects. Revitalization project. Okay. I love government graphic design. I love military graphic design. Fantastic. Okay. I'll check this out. I'll have to read more about this because there's a lot of reading. Mill Ave streetcar in Tempe, Arizona is based and successful. Valley keeps room for. Is Tempe the one that's near Phoenix? Oop, shit. Yeah, so this is okay. Oh, I have a friend that lives here. Or at least I think I do. I would have to ask her. Yeah, I have a friend that lives here. They actually do ride the streetcar a lot. It's actually not bad. I'm behind. I'm way behind. Yeah, no, this is it's not bad. It could be, but it's not great. It could be a lot better. And there's a decent portion of it. I think it's no, it's not. No, it is single tracked. Okay, so that would make like some places a little bit difficult to expand. But I mean, like it's the main problem I have with it is it's side of the street running. So like, unless is there barriers that protect it? You kind of have little curbs. The main problem is with this is the same problem with the Q line in Detroit, is that unless you protect the right of ways on the side of the street, someone will park in the streetcar track, and then can block the streetcar. But this is center running. This is good. Oh, and then it joins the light rail here. That's yeah. Yeah, the Phoenix light rail system, it could be a lot better, but like it's actually quite decent for what it is. It's just that the land use around the ends of it could be better, obviously. Denton to Carrollton transfer a new Dart line. That would be cool. Please talk about WMATA's blue, silver, orange line capacity study project addressing Roslyn bottleneck. Ad service to Georgetown. Philly I-16. That's a lot of information right there. Roslyn bottleneck. Let me see if I can search that. Roslyn. Where the fuck is Roslyn? Oh, is it on the red line? No. Where, let's see. Oh, I'm gonna have to, wait a minute. Okay, so this is the blue and orange. Yeah, blue and orange line interlining, and that's the issue. Okay. Yeah, I've heard complaints about the blue line. I mean, that's the main thing about interlining is that like if you're going to interline certain sections, you have to 4-track it to make it not terrible in the future. But the thing is that like not many people want to 4-track things to prepare for the future because obviously it's a lot of money. But like you could theoretically run more service. It's just that like it's difficult to. Roslyn is in Nova. Tunnel that goes on. Tunnel goes from it. Roslyn VA. 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 Oh. Okay. So I'm assuming. Okay. So it's this section here where the silver, orange, and blue come together. Gotcha. God, the DC Metro goes so fucking far out. The DC Metro is such a good example of like, oh, DC needs a better commuter rail system. I mean, the Metro is okay, but it's just like, it needs a better commuter rail system. I need to go back to DC sometime and ride the Metro again. Tower and Park, Le Corbusier, or whatever. Nutting seeing that. Can't wait for Purple Line private public partnership. He's. I'm not looking forward to because I think I think NJ Transit learned their lesson. Um, NJT learned their lesson. I don't think they're going to do a private public partnership next time because the River Line was technically a private public partnership. I need to do the NJT video at some point. Oh, NJT has so many issues at the moment. New Navarre is a project on federal land here in San Diego. It's not exactly public yet, but it's 100K units of TOD federal land so NIMBYs can cope. Oh, that's good. Oh, on the Convar, where the Convair factory was. Oh, interesting. I will have to look up that more. But the river line is good. Yes, the river line is good. It's just the river line. It's complicated. It's yeah. But NJT thankfully NJT thankfully, like unlike other transit agencies, Sounder or Sound Transit, actually has internal capacity when it comes to planning. So even if they do a private public partnership on a project, they still have the iron fist to rule over the project. Um, so like NJT is actually quite good because they have the internal planning resources to do a lot of this stuff. Whereas some other agencies, Sound Transit being one of the worst ones when it comes to planning and kind of commanding themselves over certain things, is not as good. The WMATA page has capacity study on their site, which includes the bloop. VRE seems to want to improve itself. I fucking hope so. Because like the problem with VRE is just the return trip stuff is that they are the most classic commuter rail of all commuter rails, is that they take you into the city to go to work and they take you home and there's nothing in between. But yeah, the bloop is funny. I don't know if I agree with it, but I don't think it's bad. I just think it's kind of goofy. Um, it's yeah. Just give me a couple minutes dumping on MBTA rail. This it's therapy for the 20 years struggling on the inside. You can find a path up. So MBTA, or let's go to Boston. So MBTA has a fantastic system. It's just that it's been years and years and years of disinvestment. And then you had the big dig on top of it that dumped debt onto MBTA. So, like, there's so much potential here, but it's just that they are weighed back by all of the lack of maintenance and everything that they've done. MBTA is SEPTA if SEPTA was never maintained itself. But weirdly, they're good at different things. MBTA is definitely a lot more. They build a lot more friendly infrastructure than SEPTA because SEPTA prioritized utility over aesthetics. You can you will get 6-minute headways on most of our metro lines in Philly, but the stations look like garbage. And that's just because SEPTA for the longest time was running a was running a hair schemed operation with barely any funding, and they were able to hold it together for the most part. The thing with Boston is that Boston MBTA was like SEPTA, where they barely got any funding, but they also were loaded with debt from the big dig. And then they were never quite like SEPTA. SEPTA was able to bully its way sort of into being relevant, where MBTA kind of always had politicians in Massachusetts that hated them. So it's just they're both unlucky, but MBTA got more unlucky. It's just MBTA. I noticed when I was there, they spent more time and effort actually making the aesthetics of the stations look nice versus SEPTA, where it's all utility. Um, so yeah, MBTA is not bloated. I don't think they're as bloated as many people think that they are. The problem with MBTA is that the money went to the wrong places. So let's show you guys. So the problem is that MBTA was not spending money on its essential services like its subway lines. So we, you know, the orange line and the red line are mainly suffering from a lot of slow zones. The green line is eternally slow. Blue line, not as bad, but it still has issues once in a while. It's just not that long. The problem with MBTA is that a lot of the rich people that oversee politics in the area do not live in downtown Boston, do not use the red, the blue, the orange line. They use the commuter rail. So the commuter rail got money for big, dumb, stupid projects. And my example of this is always going to be over here in this town called Hingham. As you can see, the Greenbush line goes through Hingham. Let's see. Catch up a sec. Yeah, no, MBTA is generally priced okay. But yeah, so the main problem with MBTA is right here. We can see it at one spot. So Hingham Station is out here, West Hingham. Why is that? The town is over here. The town center's here. Well, when the service was proposed to expand down here to Greenbush originally, which if we go down to Greenbush, we can see brand new yard here for the trains. We look brand new yard, brand new concrete, brand new ballast, brand new lighting, everything. Like they've obviously have money and they're spending it. It's just going to the commuter rail. But when they expanded to Greenbush, this little town of Hingham, they have some wealthy people that live out here. They didn't like the fact that more trains could be running through their town. So even if the train line ran through their downtown, they wanted something to happen to it. They want to see the trains. So what did MBTA do? Well, they spent a ton of money on their commuter rail. And one of the things is building a fucking trench under the town and around it so that this little tiny ass town didn't have to have the trains go through it anymore. So there's a literal tunnel under this little town just to have your hour 1 hour train frequency stupid shit go down this line so that you wouldn't have the NIMBYs they care about it. You can see a big ass fucking trench with like retaining walls and shit. You can see the 2 exhaust ports here for the diesels. There's another one here. So yeah, it's like you built all of this infrastructure, all this brand new infrastructure, and like, yeah, it looks pretty nice, but it's just like you were doing all this while ignoring your transit stuff. And you can sort of see the like tunnel here. It went down and under this shit. It's cool, but it's just like this is not a terrible idea, but it's just like you're spending all of this money on new infrastructure out in the suburbs here while your actual transit system is wasting away. And like SEPTA's kind of similar. There's some newer infrastructure in SEPTA outside of the city, and some of the inner city stuff needs a lot of work, but not as bad as Boston. Boston was the absolute worst with this. We can also see this happen in different parts, like down here in Kingston. So Kingston's weird because it has a service that goes yeah, KOP got shit fucked, which is good. Um, I will get to this comment in just a sec. Yeah, even Seattle did a better job in Big Dig. I can talk about that too. I will get to this. So one thing with the service is that where's Lake Station? So it's very similar to the one we just looked at. It's like I think it's hourly, roughly hourly. Oh, that's every 2 hours. Every 2 hours. Oof. But during the day it's a little bit better. Yeah, you get every hour ish. But this has a service. So most of your service will go this way, down this way, but some of the service will follow the old route, which is into this town here to Plymouth, and you can actually get off in Plymouth. It used to go further down, actually into Plymouth, but they got rid of that station because it's now it was now rail trail, and they didn't want the train to come down into their downtown anymore, even though it was a very dense downtown. Dumb. Um, but so that's your first part. That's your first part of the problem here. Second part is that when they did this, they built a new right of way. They built a brand new right of way to build a train yard at the end of this line so that they could run more service. But what does this do? So let's follow this. It comes off of the old main line, goes under the highway once, follows the highway, goes under the highway again, under an interchange. There's a little bit of like view for it. Then it comes out of your thing again, then branches off of the highway. This brand new right of way. Brand new. This was not here before. And then it comes down here to the biggest fucking parking lot you've ever seen. And then you have your brand new rail yard. But don't worry, there's a fucking windmill because it's environmentally friendly. And you have your single track station here for whatever. Oh my fucking god. So like MBTA is spending all of this money on this bullshit, and your orange line, red line is like rotting away. And so like the main problem with MBTA is not that are bloated or that they can't do things. It's just that like politically they have had the money go to the wrong things for multiple different reasons. So like it's not that we don't have the money to fix these things or it didn't have the money to fix these things. It's just that it was funneled to the suburbs on purpose. Like this shit is like, yeah, when we talk about like systematic disinvestment, this is it. Your money's going to the suburbs because all the politically powerful people are out here. And then your actual inner city transit that matters is the stuff that's withering away. And there's more examples on the MBTA network of their commuter rail stuff. But like, yeah, and like the other big thing you can find that's like kind of an insult is the red line itself, even though you have these cute ass trolleys that come down here to Mattapan, the red line was supposed to come down here and take over the Mattapan trolley line and come all the way down here. But this is a historically black neighborhood, or at least the Milton Village area around this area was. So they left the trolley and the train never came, so you have to make a transfer at Ashmont. This is the stuff we're talking about when we talk about like disinvestment into certain places and people. Yeah, here's your like old public housing and senior housing up here. Like, I wonder what happened. So it's frustrating, and it's weird to me that Boston has a worse system than Philly because historically Boston was a wealthier city than Philadelphia per capita. So, hey, Mike. So yeah, so if we're talking about like Boston and that kind of shit, it's just so frustrating because it's obvious the money didn't go to the right places. Let's see, where was the thing to talk about? Even Seattle did, yeah. And check out Midway Rising San Diego, new area as Narwhal. Public RA is easier to find info, mainly images, renders. News sucks, by the way. Midway Rising San Diego. Oh, wait a minute. Is this the one? Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I've seen this. Yeah, I've seen renders of this. Is this the one? This one isn't next to the light rail. There's a different one that's next to the light rail, right? Um, because I don't see the light rail in this render. This is a different one. There's another one that had the light rail, if I remember correctly. That's the Navar one? Okay. But wasn't there one where they were like filling in a stadium's parking lot? Yeah, yeah, that's it. It was SDSU West. That's it. I remember. Yeah, this is it. Um Matapan is great and all, but yeah, it should have been yep, exactly. Yeah, no, San Diego I have a lot of hope for cuz they're doing a lot of stuff. Um let's see. Morgan, if you're still watching, I will watch that shorts video later. Um, Detroit. I can look at Detroit. Let's see. How are we doing on this? Oh, not bad. Um, let's see. What was I gonna grab next? Oh wait, someone messaged me real quick. Let me. I made a video, and the video is kind of funny. Oh my fucking god! All right, hold on. Let me turn off my desktop audio. I need to watch this. See how. Oh my fucking god! It came out great. All right, I got something for y'all. I got something for you guys. Um, I got something for you. This came out great. Let me just rewatch it to make sure it's working. Drop your ugly ass. All right, all right, all right, all right. Here we go. Um, oh my fucking god, it's only 15 megabytes. All right. Here we go. Oh my fucking god. All right, all right. Here we go. Um, so I had a friend. I edited this and then sent it to him or them. Excuse me. I sent it to them and they edited it or they ran it through a VCR. So it's extra crispy. Let's see. Where's Here we go. SD flies under the radar. They have four mission district. Um, here and no one knows because it's like oh wait, I gotta turn on desktop audio. Let me see if I'm gonna. Yeah, this is authentically crispy. Or then no one knows the new science in Water City. All right. Yeah, home of challenge pissing. So okay, so a little background to this. Um, Two things you have to know before I play this. Um, there's a famous parody video that was made in Baltimore a while ago where these guys at a news studio in like the mid to early 90s made the funniest stupidest commercial they possibly could because they had like free time. And they it's known as the most parody car commercial of all time. Oh, hey Harrison. Welcome to the stream. Um and so that parody car commercial is now very famous. Um fast forward to now, this week Alstom got in a bit of trouble because their Amtrak's internal service investigation or whatever came out with the thing that like Alstom fucked up a lot, and like so Alstom is kind of like a car dealer in a way. So I made a video that is a parody of that car commercial parody. So I think if you know where this is going, and then so I rendered it in 480p, gave it to my friend. They played it through a VCR, and we got the digital version of it. So they just sent it to me. So yeah, so this should be fun. Let me see. Is my desktop audio up? Okay, we're good. You, Amtrak, if you're dumb enough to buy a new train this weekend, you're a big enough schmuck to come to Big French Fuckery. Bad deal. Trains that break down. Thief. If you think you're gonna find a bargain at Big Croissant, you can kiss my ass. It's our belief that you're such a stupid motherfucker, you'll fall for this bullshit. Guaranteed. If you find a better deal, shove it up your ugly ass. You heard us right. Shove it up your ugly ass. Bring your trade. Bring your title. Bring your corridor. We'll fuck it. That's right. We'll fuck it up. Because at Big French Fuckery, you're derailed 6 ways from Philadelphia. Take a hike to Big French Fuckery, home of challenge tilting. That's right, challenge tilting. How does that work? If your train set can tilt up to 6 degrees and not derail, you get no down payment. Don't wait, don't delay, don't fuck with us, or we'll rip your brakes off. Only at Big French Fuckery, the only manufacturer that tells you to fuck off. Hurry up, asshole. This event ends when you write us a government check, and it better not bounce or you're a dead motherfucker. Go to hell. Big French Fuckery, Hornell's filthiest and the exclusive home to the meanest sons of bitches in the state of New York. Guaranteed. You. Oh. Yeah, so I was working on that for a few days this week. If you've never seen the original version of that, it's also amazing. It's called Big Bill's Hell Cars. You can find it usually under. But yeah, we had to make a version of that. That will go up on the second channel probably tomorrow. So that's been cooking for a little bit. Yeah, so that's turned out well. Yeah, 2 Alcos pulling the HSR unit. Yeah, it's fantastic. No, there was some. So we watched. That's originally from. Let me find it. There was some news reporting that used that footage, which I think the footage is from River Rail Photo or whatever. But yeah, no, that was fun to make. Where'd that go? Oh, well, here's the original. We can watch the original.
Fuck you, Baltimore!
If you're dumb enough to buy a new car this weekend,
You're a big enough schmuck to come to Big Bill Hell's Cars!
bad deal.
Cars that break down!
Thieves.
If you think you're gonna find a bargain at Big Bill,
You can kiss my ass.
it's our belief that you're such a stupid motherfucker!
You'll fall for this bullshit.
Guaranteed!
If you find a better deal,
Shove it up your ugly ass!
you heard us right.
Shove it up your ugly ass!
Bring your tray.
Bring your title!
Bring your wife.
We'll fuck her!
That's right, we'll fuck your wife.
Because at Big Bill Hell,
You're fucked 6 ways from Sunday.
take a hike
to Big Bill Hell.
home of challenge pissing!
That's right.
Challenge pissing!
How does it work?
If you can piss 6 feet in the air straight up and not get wet,
You get no down payment.
don't wait!
Don't delay.
Don't fuck with us or we'll rip your nuts
Oh,
off!
Only at Big Bill Hell.
The only dealer that tells you to fuck off!
Hurry up, asshole.
This event ends the minute after you write us a check!
And it better not bounce or you're a dead motherfucker.
Go to hell!
Big Bill Hell's Cars.
Baltimore's filthiest
And exclusive home of the meanest sons of bitches in the state of Maryland.
guaranteed!
So yeah, it's the train version is the parody of that. So I think I did pretty good emulating that. Oh my god. This could be an ad for Siemens Valero. Yeah, they should have probably gotten that. Let's see, where's but yeah, that's the original. The one, where is it? Where's the news broadcast? Is this it?
A 5 a.m. departure to chase the future of American passenger trains down in the southern tier not far from Hornell. I went to Andover in Allegheny County. I was there to see Amtrak's new Acela Next Generation train being pulled from the Alston facility in Hornell, where some 2 dozen sets of these new trains are being assembled. This set was being pulled by a pair of 60-year-old Alco engines from the Western New York and Pennsylvania Railroad. This sleek train set will be stored at the rail yard in Olean. Eventually, these new high-speed trains, capable of speeds of 160 miles per hour, will be integrated into Amtrak's Northeast Corridor. That runs between Boston and Washington, D.C. The project has been delayed by a couple of years. This stretch of railroad has been inactive for years, so to be able to get this at the beautiful Andover Preserve was really cool. Early this morning, you could see some of that fog hovering at the treetops there, and the water was glassy smooth, allowing for the perfect reflection. It was a wonderful start to the day. The future of rail service in America right there.
I'm wondering if someone gave him that script, because there's no way the average person would be like, oh yeah, Alco, hell yeah. So like either he wrote that or someone gave him that script, because there's no fucking way. Most people would not give a shit about that. If only they were good trains, yeah. Can you record and post these nice sessions raw and watch this tomorrow? Yeah, no, most of them, if you go to YouTube, so if you go to the channel, second channel that is, on here, obviously there's me live looking like a gremlin. If you go to here, so videos, shorts, and then if you click on live, you can see all the past recordings. The only one that I don't have on here is the last one, because I need to edit that because of copyright stuff. But all of them are here, except for the last one, the last most recent, because I need to edit that. But I'll probably do another one of these virtual cams at some point, which is like the little goofy model train one. But yeah, so you can always find them here. He could be a foamer, you never know. Well, you know what I found out today is that apparently Patrick Stewart, or Sir Patrick Stewart, is apparently an avid train foamer geek or whatever. Because he posted like a TikToker thing of him. Let me find it. Patrick Stewart TikTok. Let me see. Yeah, here it is.
All I wanted for
This
my
is so
gift
cute.
was to travel by train. All I wanted.
So yeah, very cute. And if you read like the description of this, it says like, oh wait, the comments are in the way. If you read the description of this, it says,
All I want.
nope, come on, more. If you read the description, it says this. If you're Christmas came early for Patrick Stew. If you're looking for an avid train spotter, as I wrote in my memoir, I still remembering the thrill of spotting trains with my brother and friend in Yorkshire. Pleasure to be aboard the Acela going from NYC to DC. So kind of cute. So yeah, it says Christmas came early, which is kind of fun. But yeah, there's a picture on his Instagram. If I can find his Instagram. Oh, that's just his book. But yeah, he's apparently, I did not know this, apparently a train guy. So he must have been spotting the that terrible British train. Yeah, like he's posing in 30th, which I guess, hey, I could have walked into him one day. So yeah. So yeah, he obviously and well, I guess these were just he's signing the book inside of 30th Street. So like it's funny. I saw that earlier. And I was like, oh, that's very cute. But yeah, so it's funny to find out who actually knows a lot more about trains than you think. 30th Street, the subway existed. It's gonna come back. 30th, the L connection will come back. They're working on it. But yeah. Let's see. Messaging me. Let's see. Who's messaging me? The closed subway station in Miss up, trying to. What does it say? Why is it? Please. West Coast guy seeing rail infrastructure. Yeah, we have a lot in the East Coast. Trying to get to the Wellesley Prom show. Yeah, yeah, they'll fix this at some point. A copyright strike to my. I don't care. Me and like copyright strikes, I don't care as long as my channel doesn't go down. Because like, I'm getting money other ways, and like, if a monetization goes away, whatever. People are very supportive otherwise. West Coast Rail is a Sisyphus meme. Yeah, I mean, well, so I had a conversation with someone recently, which is very interesting. When I was in Miami, I was lucky enough to talk to someone that worked at Brightline for a little bit. And they live in Miami. They're originally from the West Coast. And they were talking to me about like sort of Pennsylvania and Philadelphia in general. And they're like, Pennsylvania and Philly are very weird to me because they feel like they got to the 70s and then never changed. And that's a good and bad thing. He was like, oh, they never changed, as in like, the infrastructure stayed the same. So like all your trains are still here, but obviously nothing ever really upgraded. Like if you go to Miami or California or something, everything just looks new. So like the East Coast is very weird because a lot of it has not changed for forever. Where the West Coast and a lot of the newer Sunbelt areas, like everything looks new, but it's not necessarily better. Is the main thing. And I think a lot of people move to the Sunbelt places because of all the new infrastructure and obviously cheaper housing, of course. But I think a lot of people move to a lot of the Sunbelt places because all the infrastructure looks new. So it's a perception of like, oh, this is upkept compared to the old stuff that was wherever I was moving from, Midwest or Northeast. But like, that's not, new does not necessarily mean good. And I think there's still a good subsect of people that don't quite understand that. My mom grew up in the bad days of rail in New Jersey, leading to her to basically never using a train, even though she lived 3/4 of a mile from coastline station. Yeah. People think old means dirty. Yeah, I've seen this way too many times too. Let's see. Notice when I was in Myrtle Beach and other parts of South between Southern Delaware, Stroads somehow felt more Strody than the ones I'm used to. Yeah, no, like Florida infrastructure is kind of like take all the worst kinds of infrastructure and put them on steroids. And a lot of their new infrastructure is great, but it's just like a lot of their old infrastructure is just like, oh, like part of the thing with Brightline, which I'm going to talk about when I do the video, is the grade crossings and the problems with the roads down in South Florida. So like, this is not uncommon in Florida where you have like some 6-lane road and some insane intersection, and then you have your Brightline crossing. So it's like, and this is not an uncommon sight right here. So it's like, wow, I wonder why Brightline hits so many fucking cars. Like here's another one. Here's another one. There's a 5-lane intersection. The next crossing. Here is the next crossing after that. There's a 3-lane next to your Route 1 here. Like here's another. Is this 5-lane? Yeah. There's another 6. There's 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8-lane crossing. So like. Florida is like your typical Strode stuff, but just on steroids. Here is a 7-lane crossing, with a turn lane. Just like, wow, I wonder why Brightline hits so many fucking cars. And it's like, yeah, as much as Brightline should probably be grade separated, it's just like also the insane Florida infrastructure is part of the reason. There's some fucking insane ones where there's like an off ramp on a highway somewhere. Let me find that one. So that one's one of the most wild ones. Yeah, there are 328 total in Brightline. It was wild. I've never heard a horn going off more often. Where was that one? There was like a highway looking John that was bad. Yeah, is it up here? Yeah, like this shit. It's like, what is this? 8 lanes? Just like, and what's this bullshit? Why do you need 2 roads on each side of this? Like, no. You don't need that bullshit. And like, what's this? You got your 3 crossings and you can get cars trapped in between these. Like, what the fuck's going on? It's just like, all this should be, like, as much as I think the train is good and it's a good addition to Florida, it's just a lot of this should be grade separated. It's just not. This is a level crossing in the middle of a roundabout. Yes, that's farther south, I think. There's Brightline's maintenance facility. But yeah, just like outside their maintenance facility, it's just like, it's just, these aren't too bad. These are normal ones. But like, it's just the type of sprawl in Florida and the type of roads that you encounter is just, this shit is just terrible. Like, what is this? This is 5 lanes into a turn lane into, like, these are so, like, so take your average driver, which is stupid, and then you take the average Floridian driver, which is even dumber, and then you give them these intersections to deal with, and it's just like, yeah, no fucking wonder, like, people are getting hit by the train. Where's, like, the insane ones that I've seen before, where there's, like, a turn lane? Some shit. There's just such wild shit on. I think, yeah, I think it might be been farther south. There's like one where there's like a highway interchange next to it, and it was just like, how the fuck? Is it here? No. There's one that's like next to highway interchange, and it was just like, why do they build these death traps? Like, this is obviously FDOT's main issue, is the reason. Yeah, is this it down here? They have like gotten rid of roads. Like, you can obviously see spots where they've blocked them off because it's just like stupid to have it, but it's just like, there it is, here it is, found it. Like, wow, I wonder why Brightline hits so many fucking cars. There are car plus train accidents in NJT. You never hear about it. Well, NJT also doesn't go like 80 miles an hour consistently. It also doesn't go 100 miles an hour consistently or whatever. So that's like, NJT and a lot of the commuter railroads do have accidents, but they're not going to be of highest speed as consistently as Brightline. That's the difference. It's also, Brightline has hourly service, which is better than a lot of commuter rail lines. So yeah, it's like, if I had a big complaint about Brightline, it's that like Florida itself is the problem. Cause like, what is the track speed here? It's probably 80. This is the Fort Lauderdale Airport. So, where's the airport? Here? Okay. What is track speed? That intersection. So you're coming out of as 55 miles an hour. So it's not insanely fast, but still. Yeah, NJ drivers are generally smarter than Floridians when it comes because they drive in places with trains and everything consistently. Fox River Grove accident with Metra. Metra's had a few. Metra also, okay, so Metra is one of the other examples of like grade crossing places where they should grade separate. Because like there's some goofy ass shit in Chicago that should have been grade separated like 100 years ago. Where's the Metro main line that I'm thinking of? Is it the one that follows the green line here? Yeah, this shit. So like for the most part, it's grade separated, but when you get further out, it starts becoming not. And like you have these consistently 3 or 4 track. There's stuff in closer in Chicago that's not grade separated. Where are some of these? Yeah, these motherfuckers. Why is this not grade separated? This is crazy. You got 3 different lines coming down this way, and like you have what? How many fucking tracks? 4 tracks? I know they're not gonna go too fast through here, but come on. I'd at least like eliminate some of these. You know the tracks. Do you know where the info for the track speed comes from on that site? It's a mixture of different places. Basically, so the way the Open Railway map, so the way that this site works is it's kind of like Wikipedia. So when someone edits a line, it's edited because someone has submitted a document that proves that like there is a change. Like it's handled like Wikipedia. So if you became part of their forum and you looked up some of the changes that have been made, at least the ones on more popular lines, you will generally find a backlog of like someone posting information about some of this stuff. Let's see, am I missing anything? The West Coast is both super exciting, but also painful. California is building a wild number of new projects, but behind and over budget. I hate NIMBYs. I mean, if you wanted me to talk about something, I'll talk about the BART thing. Because like, what, the San Jose one? So this thing's frustrating. For those that don't know, these 2 lines up here, this green and orange that come right here, that's BART. BART comes down here and sort of just stops at this point. They want to make BART go from here to downtown San Jose. And they roughly want it to make an L shape. They want it to go from there to there and then come down into downtown and connect with your downtown station. So not that far. It's about 3 miles-ish of track. I'll give you about like 10-15 seconds to guess how much this would cost for about 3 miles of track. Just try to figure that out. 3 miles of track in a place that's not that densely populated. What do you think it's going to be? I think the current estimate is about 12.5 billion. Insane. BART San Jose extension. So VTA is San Jose's. Oh, excuse me. I guess they want to go to Santa Clara, so extend it a bit up the Caltrain corridor. Kind of goofy. So this is your map. So this little extension to BART is going to cost 12.5 million or 12.5 billion, I think it was. There's a new article on it recently. Where is it? Excuse me. Sorry. Yeah, here's the article. So, yep, 9.3 to 12.2 billion. There you go. So the main problem with this project is the way they're doing it. Because anyone with a fucking brain, if we're to open up Google Maps like this and be like, how do I get this here to downtown San Jose? How do you do that? Well, you look at the streets here and be like, wow, this is a pretty wide street. This is a pretty straight street. And it goes, you could roughly run BART down the highway median and then turn on to Santa Clara Street, go through San Jose, and then end up at your station here for a transfer. The easiest way to do that would be either elevated right of way, because that's what, like, for most of BART looks like that. It looks like an elevated track. Like some of BART is dug, but most of BART looks like this. It looks like your typical elevated train. I think the biggest issue with BART is really it's VTA who's planning the extension rather than BART itself. This is true, but also VTA really doesn't do planning. They contract everything out. So that's the other issue is it's contractors that have come up with this thing. So yeah, so most sane people, if you were to build this, were to run it down this right of, actually there's a right of way right here. Then you turn into this, what is oh, there's an OpenStreetMap version. Okay, so this is your extension. They run it down the highway and then run it down the main street, up and over here. Not anything insane. It's just how they want to do it is kind of the insane part. So where are the renderings? Where are the renderings? So instead of doing like an elevated portion or anything like that, they're going to do a tunnel boring machine. Why? I don't know. But not only are they going to do a tunnel boring machine, they're going to do one big tunnel boring machine. They're going to do one big tunnel boring machine, and then they're going to make the station fucking super deep underground. Just to avoid like angering NIMBYs or just like to avoid disrupting anything on the surface. So you're going to have to go down the doohickey just to get down here. There's like other ones. This is one of the stations more tame to the surface. There's ones that are even deeper where they show. But just like you're building this big ass tunnel with 2 train right-of-ways in it. And you're wondering like, I wonder why the project's so expensive. There's like some renders that are even deeper and they show like, yeah, and this is like their configuration for in a tunnel. Like, that's a little goofy. They have purchased the TBMs already? What the fuck? Just sell the TBMs. Just do an elevated line. Just do the elevated portion, or do cut and cover, like, Jesus Christ. Like, upset people for like 6 months while you're doing the cut and cover, and then you're done. I don't get it. Where is it? Actually, could you guys see that? Let me bring that over here. Like, the station rendering is so goofy. Renders. Yeah, like they're building all of this shit just like way over the top. Like this tunnel profile is just insane. Like, so the DC Metro is kind of similar to this, but the main difference with the DC Metro and something like this is that, like, the DC Metro only made the stations like this. The actual tubes for the DC Metro are tiny tunnel boring things that would push through, and then, like, the main stations were these big culverts like this. But, like, and the DC Metro also did a lot of cut and cover. I mean, BART did cut and cover on Market Street in downtown San Francisco, and the Berkeley area, I think. So, like, I don't quite understand why they're doing that. Yeah. So that's my thing about the West Coast and BART and stuff like that. So frustrating. That's it. What was it? Well, I'm gonna wrap up the stream a little bit because it's getting late. So if you all have any extra things I can talk about for like 10-20 minutes, I'll do that. But I'm gonna try to wrap up sometime soon. BART almost had the second Transbay tube. They should build that still. They should also do the high-speed rail tunnel from Oakland to BART. Eventually, they'll have to. Oh, HS2. Oh, God. The thing with HS2 is that it's kind of like the California high-speed rail project, where it's like a good portion of it's built. And you can see where they built some of it. Oh, God, turn that off. Where's Houston? Houston, God, I have to remember my London places again. Yeah. So you can see they've already started. Where is the actual portion is further out for HS2 where they're starting it. Where is the... But, like, they've actually started building some of it, and, like, Gareth Dennis has, like, good videos, and, like, there's no, what's his name? Skyscraper Chad has a few videos on it. They're building it. That's the crazy part, is that they are fucking building it, but they're stopping it while they're building it. Like, I don't understand HS2. Why? Because the conservatives are just, they're all the fucking same. Jeff Marshall also did a video on it. Where was the construction starting? Hold on. It's just to map. Oh, so it's going out of London to the west. Interesting. Okay. Interesting. So okay, it's going out of the west direction then over and up. Yeah, no, it's the thing is that with a lot of conservatives, conservatives are like this, where they just have scorched earth policies, where like they'll literally do things just because it's the opposite of the liberals. Like they don't have a solid ideology anymore. Their ideology is just, we'll do the opposite of what the liberals, or in UK politics, the Labour. So it's like, see, is this a tunnel? Aylesbury. Talk about I-11 plan for the build Brightline. Phoenix and Brightline West Arizona toll road. Make the toll road unless they want to bankrupt themselves. Then the build to Phoenix versus Brightline. I-11 I need to read more about because I don't know too much about it. But I know that, yeah, it's kind of a dumb idea. Does this go to... Where does this go through? Where's Oxford compared to... Okay. So where's Watford? The fuck? Okay, so it's gonna... So where's the construction? Okay, so it should be to the west. Where basically part of the reason is that they want to win the next election because they're about to lose it really badly. Well, this doesn't make sense because is canceling HS2 seems like a bad policy choice because it doesn't seem like many people like obviously there's the NIMBYs and super conservatives that like support it, but it doesn't seem like it's a super popular like position, especially with a lot of London people. So I don't quite understand why they're like, it's obviously it's a very scorched earth policy. Yeah, I don't quite understand why they're pushing for it. Where are those? So Westwood come. Where is? So Harefield. Where the fuck is that? Oh, it's off. Okay, there's the construction right there. Your HS2 stuff. Yeah, here's one of your big tunnels. You can see the TBM right there. It's complicated. I might need to. It's not the same. At the same time, so I might need to explain this. Yeah, Anya, we'll have another night where we'll talk about it, but just like, yeah, UK politics are a little. They're not completely the same as US, but basically the conservatives don't like transportation. So it's. Yeah, so any section here that is in orange is a section that's being built. So you can see like there's giant sections they have that are built so far, and it's confusing to why. Like I think it's going to go to Birmingham at least, but I'm not. I don't think it's going to do anything other than that. Which agency is in charge of HS2? I assume it's Network Rail. Just Birmingham, yeah. But yeah, you can see the construction that's going on for it. I mean, Google Maps is probably not all up to date. But yeah, so frustrating. Yeah, there's more of it, construction. So like your construction's actively happening with all this stuff, and it's just so frustrating that like, I guarantee so many people are working on this and they feel so defeated because they're like, yeah, they were originally planning on doing so much more construction, and now it's just not. Old Oak Common to Birmingham is going to get built, the rest won't. It's so frustrating. That like, yeah, it's the only good part about this is that like, even though it's canceled, at some point it could just be continued, which is the better way or the bright side of looking at this. Is that like, even though it's probably not all getting built immediately, at least at some point you could theoretically finish it just slightly later because they've delayed it. So my belief is that like the younger generations are pretty obviously pushing for more transit, and it's just the older boomer austerity people that are kind of against this. Generally younger people want more transit, so once at a certain point this will just get finished. It's just that like these idiots are getting in the way. So I don't actually know if they'll sell all of the right of way. I don't think they will. I don't think they bought all of it yet either. But yeah, it's just disappointing. Because like the train ride between London and Leeds and Manchester is not bad, but it's just like it could be so much fucking better with the HS2 stuff. It's such an issue that stuff like this becomes a political grandstanding thing instead of just like a beneficiary to everyone in the country. Because that's all conservatives. That's what conservatives do, is that they generally take something that's a good thing for everyone and then they turn it into an issue where it's a problem for everyone. And it's just like, no, you don't. They bought most of the land for the Manchester City and they are trying to sell it off. Damn. Why would you sell it off? Because they're totally going to finish this at some point in the future. It's just that, like, when is now the question. Yeah, that's so frustrating. Yeah, it's frustrating. I mean, there's so many projects that are like this where they get like they get scaled back or canceled or something, and at some point they just have to be completed anyway. And it's just like these people are just getting in the way of these things getting completed because it's just it's so frustrating. This happens in every country, but it's just more frustrating when it's a more obvious project that doesn't get completed. Yeah, getting a little late here on the East Coast, and I probably need to get to an event tomorrow that's like a something downtown Philly, or Center City, whatever. I'm what is it? This will, if you haven't watched the full stream or whatever, the VOD should go up on the channel and you should find it under the live tab. But yeah, other issue with HS2 is it meant to solve the north-south divide. Yeah. Oh. Yo, just joined here, literally eating my breakfast on the other side of the pond. Greetings from Germany. Hello. Yeah, like I said, unfortunately, I'm wrapping up the stream soon. Because I am very tired. It's 2 in the morning here. And I should probably get to bed because I have that thing tomorrow. What is it? Yeah, no, I said I'm going to do a stream probably either sometime this weekend or sometime early next week. I'll do like a morning stream for Euros because obviously the very late night stuff here in the US obviously is not the best for people in Europe or some parts of the world where you're waking up or it's like midday. Let's see, I'm going to be in Philly a few days this week. Any places you recommend? Definitely Reading Terminal Market. Go walk through Old City. You don't have to stop at any place. Just go walk generally through Old City. Walk through Rittenhouse and Fittler Square. Chinatown's good if you haven't been to like an American Chinatown or a decent one. And then trying to think what else. Well, Chinatown's next to Reading Terminal, so it's very easy to get to. What else? What are the good Philly shit? I mean, you could go to the Rocky statue, but it's overrated. There's plenty of other good stuff to see. 30th Street Station, obviously. City Hall's pretty cool. I mean, Philly, so that's the thing with Philly is like your stereotypical stuff that tourists go see are actually kind of cool. And like, even if I want to shit on them and I shit on the tourist areas, it's like, no, the places that most people are recommended to go are actually quite decent. The only one that I would say against is don't go see the Liberty Bell. It's just a bell. There's a crack in it. You can look through the wall if you really want to, or look through the glass wall if you really want to see the thing, but like, don't wait in the line to go through the thing for it. Opinions on the Christmas market. The Philly Christmas market is generally pretty good. See. Hey, I gotta go. See you next time. Hey, nice for you to stop by though, Brennan. But yeah, I'm trying to think of other places in Philly just off the top of my head before I go. If you go to South Philly, South Street's generally pretty cool. If you like more parties, bars, food stuff, South Street's pretty cool. as much as people shit on Pat's and Geno's for the cheesesteaks, like they're not, in my opinion, they're not the best cheesesteaks. You're better off going to a lot of other places. But for presentation, Pat's and Geno's are pretty good. They're over the top on their presentation, especially with the building and all the facade stuff and the neon. So like if you want to go there, yeah, they're not my favorites to get a cheesesteak, but like hey, they're fun as a tourist thing. So Philly just seems cool to walk around. It is cool to walk around. You see a lot of stuff just walking, yeah, like Rittenhouse and Fittler Square sounds crazy. Why is that? It's cool. It's a cool area. Here, let me show you. Let me go back to browser real quick. Just to, or where is it? So everything in Philly based around our city hall, because our city hall is very beautiful and nice. So everything in Philly is based around that. Yes, City Hall definitely a place I recommend going. But I would say go anywhere in this section of the city over here. This is Rittenhouse and Fittler Square. The main thing about Philly is that like there's Alfred's Alley over here or whatever. Where is it? Yeah, like this is the one everyone gets tourist trapped into. And like it's okay. Like it's okay, but this is not what I would recommend if you want to go see like older colonial or older like car-free streets in Philly. Like this is half decent, but it's not it's overrated. It's kind of the tourist trap one. It's you want to go over here. There's plenty of other cool ones. Like the one over here near Fittler Square there's one called Panama Street. But there's plenty of these all around the city. So like these tiny streets here are the ones that I always recommend. They look like alleyways, but they're not. These are real streets where people live and everything. A lot of Philly looks like this. Go to Spruce Hill, Fittler, Spruce Hill, two best areas. Yeah, pretty much. Those are good. How am I serious? So this one's good. Another one I recommend is 11th, or I think it's 10th, 11th Locust, or where is it? Quincy Street. So off of Locust Street. Where is it? There's South, there's Locust, Lombard, Pine, Spruce, Locust. Okay, so Quincy Street, this one right here. This one's one of the best ones in the city. It's one of my favorite streets. So this is your normal Philly street, where it's like 2 or 3 car lanes wide. But these are the old ones that are really cool. This is one of my favorites. So like a lot of Philadelphia, you can find these little like alleyways and older streets throughout the city, and like they're my favorite places to go show people, because like yeah, the U.S. There are places in the U.S. that look like this, and it is pretty cool. So yeah, it's funny that the Google car drove down this because that was probably a very, very slow drive. You can barely fit down this. But yeah, just walking around these areas, it's cool, especially because you'll be here in fall, and the trees will be starting to turn like this, the ginkgo trees that turn yellow. But yeah, very, very beautiful place. This is also part of the Gay Borough, so you'll see a lot of pride flags and stuff like that. I think there's a trans-run bookstore down here. Is that the one on this corner? No, there's like a queer bookstore somewhere here that's pretty cool. I don't remember where it is. I think it's on Spruce. Right. There's a bookstore. I swear is it on Pine? Maybe it's on Pine. Yes, here it is. Very cool store. Yeah, they have the AIDS thrift store. They have books and a bunch of hand-me-down stuff. Obviously, yeah, pretty progressive place. So yeah, and that's near Quincy Street. That's near one of the other ends of Quincy Street. There's a cool bar on Quincy Street. Or no, it's a theater. There's a tiny theater here that does like little performances, but like the theater is right here on this street. So you're gonna have a hard time finding car parking on this street for the theater. Yeah, no, I hope people visit. Philly gets a lot of bad rap because of just like history and like boomers remember Philadelphia from like the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s when it was pretty shit. But now it's not. And there are many places in Philadelphia that are definitely not bad. Yeah, SEPTA's good if you're taking transit. You have a favorite motor coach like EMU, DMU? Not really. Maybe like the Arrows, the NJT Arrows, but like I don't really have a favorite. But yeah, there's a bunch of cool stuff. I have a friend that lives on one of the Waverly streets, and Waverly is also quite cool. You go. Yeah, like these houses are not even that expensive. Most of these are under $1 million. So like you can have a house in some of the most historical places in Philly that look really nice, and they're going to be like, I don't know, like 800, 900,000, depending on what house they are, where they are. What was it? Yeah, Rittenhouse Square, obviously one of my favorite places. Let's see if I can drop. Yep. This place is pretty cool. It's one of Philly's better parks or better squares. This how old is this? 2019? This looks like garbage. But yeah, this is one of Philly's nicer squares that you can go to, kind of in the middle of the city. Have fun. Airbnb is in Spring Garden. Do you know where? Because Spring Garden is a street. Any plans to go on? Well, there's your problem again. If Roz invites me, then sure. Well, I didn't say affordable. If you want affordable housing, that's a different part of the city. This is the nicest part of the city. So the nicest part of the city, you can still get rents in this area for about $1,400-1,500 for a studio or one bedroom. But yeah, if you're buying a house, it's going to be like 800 to $1 million. Yeah, no, you can find pretty cheap places for rent in the area. And then if you go farther north, you can find really cheap stuff up in like Brewery Town and stuff like that. And Brewery Town's pretty nice now too. But Spring Garden's up here. So like decent. One of my favorite neighborhoods is Fairmont. Like Green Street and stuff up here. So if you're in Spring Garden around this area, there's a lot of nice places. Green Street is one of my favorite streets in Philly. You have a lot of, I mean, this looks like New York City. You could probably fake someone into thinking this is New York. Here in Philly, it's the opposite. So like Seattle, yeah, 1,500. So the suburbs here in Philly are actually more expensive than the city. So Broad and Spring Garden. Oh, it's by Spring Garden Station. Okay, so it's by Broad. But yeah, no, this is one of my favorite parts of the city. This is Green Street in Fairmont. And again, another rich neighborhood. There's some old mansions here, which are kind of neat. That this is broken up into apartments now. I think it's like 8 or 9 apartments now. Same with this one down here. These used to be mansions, but now they're apartments. But other section. I mean, you have our castle in Philly here. You have the castle, or Eastern State Penitentiary, which is this is a jail from the early 1800s. So it quite looks the part. Are there any McMansions in Philly? Not really. I mean, unless you count big row homes as mansions. But there's a nice coffee shop right here. This is one of my favorites, OCF Coffee House. Very good. Across the street from the castle. But yeah, most of Philly looks like this, where it's just like row homes on a street, and some are more greenery than others. Yeah, a lot of people in Philly don't, or a lot of people outside of the city don't quite understand how good this city is, and like part of that is because Philly has always been secondary to New York City. A lot of New York City soaks up a lot of the wealthier people from the Northeast, and they go there instead of going here, or just people in general. They don't have to be wealthy. New York City kind of soaks up a lot of the people because it's like the default city to go to for a lot of people. If you're near Spring Garden Station here, there's some stuff to do directly around here, but I'd recommend walking either west into Fairmount or east. There's a rail park over here to go to, and there's a bunch of new housing and stuff. If you go farther east and you ride, I think it's the 40, what bus is 43? You ride the 43 down Spring Garden. There's a bunch to do over here in Northern Liberties. And then if you go up here in Fishtown, tons of stuff to do in Fishtown. Fishtown is kind of known as the hipster gentrification central. But like the thing with Philadelphia and gentrification in Philadelphia is that most of the developments in Philadelphia are replacing stuff where there wasn't anything before. Like Callow Hill here in this neighborhood, there was nothing really here. It was just old industry stuff, and now it's getting replaced by housing. Yeah, the Northeast is very specific for the overshadowing thing because Philadelphia is a very large city, and if Philadelphia was on the West Coast or if it was in like the middle of the country, it would be one of the most looked at cities in the country. But the problem is since it's near New York City, it doesn't get as much limelight as a city with 1.6 million should. But yeah. Yeah, so but if I recommend going to Philly, go to Reading Terminal if you want something to eat. It's hard to go wrong with Reading Terminal Market. There's literally everything. There's bakeries, there's like barbecue places, there's candy shops, there's like vegan, there's coffee shops, there's gluten-free stuff, which I like because I have celiac. Chinatown's right next to it. Chinatown's awesome. Philly's Chinatown is definitely one of the better ones in the United States. It's I lived there for a year. So like I definitely recommend Chinatown. Some fantastic stuff. Everything here looks and is awesome. It's hard to find a place that doesn't have good food here. I love the fire department. Can I not see it? Hold on, we need a better angle. There's like come on, I want to see the mural. Yeah, there you go. House of the Dragons. Good firefighting group. The guy waving at the... that might be actually a friend of mine. I might know who that is. That's funny. But yeah, Philly Chinatown is good. There's some markets you'll find out continuously. Yeah, here's one of the markets down here. You'll just have street vendors. It's great. Love Chinatown. Oh, Philly has so many good murals. Let me show you some of them. Like if you're coming from New Jersey, one of the first ones you'll see when you enter the city is, where is it? You'll see this one. Giant American flag. Let's see. Yeah, giant American flag on the side of a building. It's painted on it. That's one of the first ones you'll see when coming in the city from New Jersey. Otherwise, there's tons of murals that are like scattered out throughout the city. There's one that's like next to a tiny parking lot that I liked a lot. I'm trying to remember where it is. Where is that one? Oh, it's over here. Yeah, there's a bunch of good ones that are just scattered throughout the city, like the pixelated cherry trees. Kind of cool. Is the USS United States still by IKEA? Yes, it is. Yeah, if you go to IKEA and have food at the upper level of IKEA, you can see a good view of the USS United States. There's not much down in that direction though, so I don't know if you'd want to waste your time down there, because you can see the ship. It's sitting over here, but like I said, there's not much here except for the IKEA across the street. So like, it was an old industry area. You still have your rail line. There's some buses that run down here. If you want boats, go across the there's a little ferry, the Riverlink ferry that goes across here. Just take that and go to the Battleship New Jersey before they close for dry dock, because that would be a good one to visit. The other boats that you want to see are here. There's the only World War I ship that survives in the United States is here in Philly. It's the Olympia. Pretty cool ship. Next to a submarine you can also go in. There's also the Mooshaloo, which the Mooshaloo is a restaurant now. But the Mooshaloo was I think until they put it into restaurant duty, it was the fastest tall ship in the world, under sail power only. Which is kind of neat. So that's a cool spot to visit. Part of 95 has been capped here. Hopefully the rest of it gets capped soon. But yeah, I'm trying to think of where else. South Street's cool, like I said. If you want to see an Ivy League school, University of Pennsylvania is pretty neat. The campus is pretty cool. This is like, it always makes me forget I'm inside of a city when I'm on the campus here, because this is the campus at UPenn. Like, yeah, you would never know this is inside of Philadelphia or inside of a city. Pretty cool. Yeah, UPenn is definitely even though I don't like Ivy League specifically, I think UPenn is kind of neat. And right nearby, you can see, this is kind of goofy. This is a trolley car that they turned into an entrance to the trolleys. So, yeah, kind of goofy. But yeah, these are the dorms at UPenn. Like, they all look like medieval. The academic Gothic is the correct term. If you want a fun place to go, this is a cool place. Renetta's Kitchen, because you can go watch the trolleys come out of the portal here. So all the trolleys, West Philly housing looks like this. It's all duplexes. But yeah, you can see the trolleys come out of the tunnel here. But yeah, I mean, like, yeah, it's so much fun to. There's a lot of places in Philly, I'd say. Honestly, just go and walk around. I would say there's only a few places in Philly I'd say to avoid. Obviously, you've probably heard of Kensington. Kensington is probably like, I go there sometimes because like Kensington's pretty big and there's only a small part of Kensington that's actually an issue. But like for people that aren't used to the city, I would say just don't go to Kensington. And then I don't know, there's some other places I'd say to just avoid. I don't know. Some of the stuff up here in northern Philly gets sketchy at night, but like generally it's not as bad as people say. I'd say some of the other stuff down here, like Elmwood Park and Kingsington, I can never say that correctly. They get a little sketchy, but for the most part, they're fine. And if you want to ride the Norristown high-speed line, that's here at 69th Street. So, what are the trolley frequencies like? They're every 10 minutes, or at least during the day they are. But it depends also if you're on one of the main lines or not, or if you're on a like here you go. Here's at night. At night they run every 40 minutes, I think. No, every 30 minutes, I guess, roughly. But during the day, it's a lot better. Yeah, roughly every was this? Every 20 minutes looks like in the early morning. But it depends. A lot of the trolleys interline with each other. I mean, they all do at some point. And then you can get literally like 1 minute frequencies. Mantua is pretty cool up here. Cool spot. There's a cool church that was converted into housing up here. I actually looked at once when I was going to go possibly live in this area. Philly Zoo is cool, of course. Fairmont Park is cool. Art Museum is cool, of course. Yeah, Philly is a problem. Is like to properly explore it, you need like a week. Oh, anyway, I gotta finish this up because I gotta actually go to sleep. So I want to say thanks for coming tonight, and yeah, I'm gonna figure out another day to stream for Euros to have a better time actually watching because like obviously streaming at very late at night in the US means that it's very early in Europe. So we'll do another one when it's not quite as late or early for people. But yeah, I will say have a good night, and this VOD will go up on the channel, so if you want to figure or watch some more of it, go for it. I'm probably going to rename it because I usually rename all these after it goes up. But yeah, otherwise, have a good night or good morning if you're waking up.